بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فوسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's happening? Let me know if y'all can hear me. All right. Let me know if you can hear me. B Smitty, what up? Janine, what up? What up? What up? Everything is everything. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. That way I know we good. Let me get a mic check in the chat. We good? All right, thank you, B. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, yeah. So he texted me, so he like, man, I'm running a tad bit behind. So yeah. I'm just waiting for him to kick on in on the back end, you know. But what up, everybody? Salute everybody for making it out on a Wednesday. Make sure that you click that like button for me, hit the subscribe button as well, notification buttons. Every Friday at 12:30, we do the same bat channel. We get it in on the conversation every Friday at 12:30. We call it a khutbah, which is just a Friday lecture and whatnot. Pretty awesome stuff, in my opinion. For real, seriously. I be having to go back and study this stuff, you know what I mean? So check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. If you're new, click that like button, hit that notification button. Nicholas Bay in the building. Peace to you. What's going on? Yeah, man. So I'm waiting for the guests to come through. Man, salute to everybody that was in class yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I know BB at work. You know what I mean? It's so I don't know, man. I want to say it's just really good to see how one to be among spiritual company. That is a major thing, a big major thing. That's actually like a pillar among Sufis. You know what I'm saying? Is to be in spiritual company. But to see people read, Arabic and never study Arabic before, or who couldn't read it, even if they studied it before, they couldn't read, but know how to read it, and just breaking it down in such a short amount of time. It was like, I believe, week 3, week 4 that they actually started literally reading it. You know what I mean? Just from practicing the alphabet. Salute to B for creating the Golden Heart portal that we have, a little hub where you can practice. So if you're on Android, because see, it's an app that we practice on the alphabet on iPhone, but if you're on Android, they don't have it. But you can go to your desktop or on your phone and you can hit the portal, and you can practice and learn your alphabet over there, which is 2 different type of tests, and they both got easy modes and hard modes and whatnot. And yeah, you knock yourself out, and it's pretty cool, man, because you get to literally, you got a prayer counter. Did you make your prayer for the day? Boom, 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 boom. And when you save it, you can see on the calendar, it starts to light up your calendar. Dang, that's what I did yesterday. That's what I did last week. Okay, I'm on point. You know what I mean? So it's a great place to learn and a great place to have some self accountability for yourself. You know what I mean? So, salute to everybody that's in that. All right. Let me check, man. Let me see what's going on. Hey, this is You see this is with this is what they be saying, color black people, man. CP time, right? That's what they be saying. Let me see. Yeah. But it's gonna be a great show. I promise you, it's gonna be a great show. Let me see here. Let me get this ETA real quick, y'all. And salute to Sharita in the chat, the business mod. What's going on? I was having a conversation about you, Sharita. It's like, man, Sharita be taking Astro game and applying it to business. And just really doing what Sharita do. So salute to Sharita, who's our business mod in the Patreon, who does a lecture, a business webinar for anybody who wants to attend in the Patreon. It's a whole chat over there called the business chat. Every third Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. The third Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's just like, hey, how do you use AI to amp up your business and things and start kicking out content or marketing plans and all of that good stuff? You know what I'm saying? So that's Sharita. That's over there that's doing that, man. So salute to Sharita. Salute to B. B, again, is a person he's a chat moderator as well in Patreon, where the whole AI, the whole Web3 and some crypto, all that kind of stuff, that's his domain over there. You know what I mean? So salute to the mods, man. That's everybody that's in here who watched the playback. Salute to CC the GOAT, who is a lottery mod. Give you numbers to play lottery for those of you who play lottery. And be winning. Be winning like a mug. You know? So just salute to everybody, man. For real. All right. Hold on, y'all. Let me check my phone real quick. Oh yeah, man. CC goated for real. For real. Hold on, y'all. I'm waiting for him to hit me back. I think I made my prayer early. Salute to my prayer folks. There is something new too. I don't know if I got it back here. Do I got it back here still? Ooh. I believe I do. Right here. Monster. A monster. A monster of accountability. Right here. A monster of accountability. I'm talking about tapping in to the light. It's a daily planner, but the daily plan is to do a particular exercise for the month, but the month corresponds to an actual zodiacal energy, which ultimately deals with this right here, which is key. So I'm talking about how do we activate the cosmic light body within self and bring light into these bodily systems with the actual flow of the year, really being in sync with the year, right? So that's it's dope, super dope. Okay, super dope. And when we say accountability, right, we talking. Who is this trying to get in here? All right, we talking. Hey, you got 12 pair of nerves up in that dome. Important. These are the 12 zodiac signs within you. So this is Golgotha. Christ was buried at the or crucified at the place of the skull, Golgotha. And so Christ had these 12 disciples. These 12 disciples are actually inside of our cranium. Now, the Nation of Islam, which we're going to get into in today's conversation, has a conversation that says, hey, there's something called the scientists. You got 23 scientists. You got 12 scientists, 12 major, 12 minor, and it's 24 in total. And the 24th one is the judge. That's you. You know what I'm saying? That's you. You the judge. All right. And so tapping into these things, such as this, understanding when you get to a bodily system, an Aries season, this is your blood system. This is your muscular system. This is where, you get active right here. And now lining up with foods, thought, activity that best purifies this particular system. That's the key. All right, so he said he logging in now. That is the key right there. All right. So you gotta check this out, man. This is absolutely in the Patreon. It's free. You just download it. You got like 4 workbooks back there. You know what I mean? 4 phenomenal workbooks that's back there on the Patreon. Phenomenal stuff. All right. All right. So yeah, he just texted me, said he logging in. I'm trying to see if I have something with the workbooks on there. That was last week's Kaaba. Let me see, because I think at the end we had all the workbooks up there. There we go. There you go. All right. So listen, man, I got ADD. I'm not writing no book, but I'll give you a workbook in a minute. I'll give you something to do. You know what I mean? From the self-activation workbook was the very first workbook. That book was written in 2012. That book is 13 years old. You know what I mean? Teach you how to read your own birth chart, planets, stars, how to make it make sense for you. So you got to self-activate first. You should know yourself first. You should know your chart. You really should. Like you really, really, really should. 25 homophones of love and money, fun workbook. Just, there's just a learning tool of, you can make flashcards out of that. That'd be dope. Of why are we using financial terms to express love and vice versa, So that's cool. Money Magic Synchronicity Journal. That keeps you on point. So there's techniques in the Patreon, such as check for the check. All right. Check for the check. Every time you go to the mailbox, expect a check. And then check it off for the day. So what are the money techniques you're doing every day to stay on par? All right. And then, as I just explained, the cosmic light body workbook. Okay. So again, man, these are things that keep us on point throughout the year. All right. Cosmic light body about to get real, real, real interesting, because I haven't printed mine yet, but I know when I'm gonna start it. So we're gonna manifest and show the light of the Creator. Once we get started with that one. All right, man. So I'm waiting on the grand sheet to come through. So he said he was signing in. Make sure I got my questions loaded up too. So here we go. He's still traveling. Hey, what's up, beloved?
Hey, beloved, how are you? Peace and blessings.
Hey man, we know you a black man now, brother. What's happening? What's going
Why? I got the hoodie on.
no, you late.
Oh my time. My
What's
apologies,
no
beloved, for
man, it's
being
all good, man. It's all good.
tardy today.
It's all good, man. It's all
You look
good.
beautiful, brother.
Oh man, I appreciate it. I got some work to do. You know what I mean? I'm about to
You
get
looking
to it.
beautiful. You look like.
Hey man, I
Where are you?
appreciate it. Oh, man, I'm still, hey, I'm still in the bunker. But this is,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I got this put on my wall though. I had,
Oh, that is beautiful,
yeah, I had paid
beloved.
my print man come this in modern day mosque. This is my favorite masjid right here. You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
so this is Grand Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque right here. You know what I
Alhamdulillah.
mean?
That is beautiful.
Yeah, so that bad boy
That
like
is
white
beautiful.
and gold, everything. Some of my favorite colors
Yes,
is
sir.
like white and gold combination and whatnot. But you ready? You good?
I'm ready, beloved. I'm ready.
Oh man, so hold on. Well,
I'm ready.
we're
Just
gonna have to get the party
fire
started. So
away.
all
Fire
right, so
away, brother.
this is how we're gonna have to do this, ladies and gents. Y'all get ready because this is going to be an awesome show. I'm talking about. Let me bring this up here. Where is it at here? I am talking about the
Oh
legend.
wow. Okay.
I
Yes,
am
sir.
talking about the man who goes into prayer and his face can disappear or light appears with him. I'm talking about a brother who his wife may come in the room and freak out because he's up on the ceiling because he didn't got stuck levitating. I am talking about someone who can leave the body at will, visit you in your dreams or in the physical space, and then come back to his
Oh.
body. I'm talking about a Himalayan type of master. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we in the company of today, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen. I
wow.
believe, how do we say it? Powatoon Shi Amaru Muhammad. What's going on,
Alhamdulillah.
brother? What's happening?
Alhamdulillah. Man, I don't know what to say after such an introduction.
Oh
You
no,
know?
man!
You know?
It's just the truth, man. It's the truth. So you got to walk us in the beginning. I like to go to the
Yes.
beginning. Got to take us back
Let's go
as a
to the beginning.
kid. You a kid. You growing up. Is mom and dad in the house? What's going on as a kid growing up?
Yeah, this is how I wanted to talk. This is why I said I would just I was gonna throw something on a little bit more uh in line with spirituality as we normally see it.
Yes.
And then I said, no, I just want to be myself today.
Yeah.
I want to be genuine. And I had to visit with my adopted mom here at the wellness center. She's 88 years old
Mm,
and she's still operating the wellness center every day on her own. And
wow.
so she called me and I had to make a stop before I got here.
Yes.
But I wanted to say, in respect to how I grew up with two-parent home. My mother and father there, uh, both. My father, a FOI Muslim,
Mm,
under the tutelage of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad prior to his departure in 1975, and my mother, a Pentecostal Christian lady, you know.
mm,
And so I grew up in a home where both ideologies were being exuded upon
mm-hmm,
me, you know. So, but also I grew up. My mom, well, she's up in age now. She might not want me to say this, but my mom always displayed uh, mental abilities, I would say.
mm-hmm,
And you mentioned visiting in the dream. The first experience I had with that was with my mother as a child.
mm,
And I remember very vividly now that you mention it, I remember it because I was afraid in the dream and I cried out for her and she came in the dream and got me.
mm,
Yeah, that
mm,
happened. And
mm-hmm.
I'll tell you some other dream experiences that I've had as a child and into my adolescence.
Right.
So there have been experiences as I've growing up that were directing me along a path to where
Mm-hmm,
I'm going today. So yeah, I grew up in a very uh, spiritual home. My parents both from the South, from Virginia. They both, whether they would like me to say it or not, were involved in hoodoo culture.
Mm.
Whether directly or indirectly, they dealt with root work. And I heard this language on a consistent basis. You know, my auntie came to live with us as a young boy, and she was an avid root worker. And so I learned a lot of things from her about herbs and how herbs work and how energy works. And she said it in her own way, but I learned so much from her. And one day I remember, beloved, I was acting up, and she said something about where I was born. And she says, "Boy, you wasn't born. You was laid by the buzzards and hatched by the sun." And
Mm.
I was like, wow, that's when I was a boy, I'm like, my auntie done related me to buzzards,
Right. Right.
vultures. But
Right.
when we look into the history of vultures and we go into the science of that creature from the ancient perspective, it had a very prominent role in spiritual development, uh,
Right.
a very prominent role, as does the sun itself has. And so being laid by the buzzards and hatched by the sun, for me, whether she knew or not that she was pronouncing something over me, it has come to fruition in my life, in my journey, in which I continue to this point.
Right.
I hope that
Right.
wasn't too much, but I
No, no,
enjoyed
no, no,
talking
no,
to you.
not at all, not at all. You can keep on going. So what I was going to ask you here, um, let me get a quick backstory because I actually should have said this first, right? So
Okay,
you
go
you
ahead,
know,
brother.
y'all don't know this is how I got into the Nation of Islam, which of course we're gonna get there, right? And
Yes,
so
sir.
so it comes about where I'm at a time in my life. This is 2005, 4 or 5 ish, right in that pocket. Um, and I got my own black art store, but I'm on my mind. I'm Huey P. Newton. I'm on my Black Power thing. I'm ready to rumble. Okay, but
Yes,
I've
sir.
always had this
Yes, sir.
respect for the Nation of Islam, right? And a partner, a friend of mine's, Rafiq, peace to Rafiq, he was like, man, the little guy, man, the light skin got to come in. He the nation, he the minister of the Nation of Islam. I like, man, stop lying. He was like, man, nah, for real. And it baffled me because you would come to my store, but you never mentioned that. And then
Mm,
I asked you, and I was like, hey, you the minister of the nation? You was like, yeah. I was like, why ain't you never asked me to be in the nation? Right? You was like, you just gave me an answer like, man, brother, if it's for you, it's for you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
right.
wow. So I'm talking about really, I got there because of your magnetism and your pull based off of who you were, and you
Mm,
wasn't out actively trying to what we call fishing, right? Go fishing
mm-hmm,
for people. You know what I mean? And I never
mm-hmm.
forget, you probably don't even remember two things. My very first homework assignment in the mosque. You know what it was?
What was
I
that?
never forget this. Explain how Jesus escaped the death plot. I'm like, what are
Oh,
you talking
wow.
about? Jesus was dead. What are you talking about? Escaped,
Oh,
right? And
wow.
so that was the very first homework assignment I had. Was we had to explain, go back and read the Bible, and explain how
Yeah,
Jesus
yeah.
escaped death, and it's not physically there. So you had to put the clues
Right,
together and stuff, right?
right,
And
right,
then
right. Oh,
and,
wow.
and and then my first metaphysical experiences, which is two. The first time I ever hear a tuning fork is with you. We go to a metaphysical store, and you hit it, and I heard it, and the only thing I said was that's it. That's my first
Yes, sir.
response
I
to.
remember
I
that.
said that's
I
it,
remember that.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
and that it simply just meant that there is this resonance that you're familiar with, which years later,
Right.
probably about 3 years later, I would hear that sound at Mount Shasta in the woods,
Mm, mm,
and it's giving off this sound. And wallahi,
mm-hmm.
seriously, I'm sitting on a log in the woods and I'm crying. I open my eyes and I look down, and it's these huge ants, and they were prostrating to me, bowing down. I
Right,
promise, right?
right,
And I hear this
right,
sound, it's just going crazy and whatnot. And
right.
then at your house, your apartment, he said, write the thing down that's bothering you in a sense, put it on this Alka Seltzer and drop it in the water. And you was like, It's gone. It's on my head. I'm like, wait, man, hold on, man. What kind of trick is this? What do you mean write it on an Alka-Seltzer and it's gone? Right? You know what I'm saying? But those are the beginning stages of the journey.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean? Never
Yes,
knew
sir.
nothing about. No, what are you talking about? This energy
Yes,
transfer. I
sir.
don't know nothing about this stuff, man. You know what I mean? So
That's right.
that's our beginning. But
Oh, wow.
so take us to
Oh,
so your
wow.
father is
Took me way back,
yeah,
brother.
he's fruit of Islam. So he's in the Nation of
Yeah.
Islam. What
Yeah.
age do you join the Nation of Islam, like officially, and you going?
Okay, that's good because I'm gonna say that, but then I'm gonna go back to something my father taught me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I joined the Nation of Islam officially. I was 20. I was 22 years old.
Okay. Wow.
I was 22 years old, and I had to write my letter. You know,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I didn't write a letter at 16 years old. I wrote my letter at 22 years old, and I joined the mosque in Atlantic City, New
Mm-hmm.
Jersey. So I loved it. It was what I needed. You know, sometimes we can lose ourselves, and I began to see some slippage, I'll say, in my life, in my in my uh, in my morality, and how I was dealing with people, and it was resembling in me. I was feeling the resemblance of what I've seen negativity in my family,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I didn't want to repeat those behaviors. I've never wanted to repeat negative behaviors. Um, as I can remember, anytime I saw myself involved with a negative behavior, I tried to delete it.
Mm.
So uh, I sought the temple because when I was growing up, my father, when Honorable Elijah Muhammad passed in 1975, my father would always threaten me as a boy that when I acted up, I'm gonna take you to the temple and let the brothers handle you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, so this was always a pervasive thought in my mind as I developed as a young man. So, when I became a young man and I went out into the world on my own, standing on my own 2 feet, no mother, no father, you know, just me and my girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who is my wife today, uh, of 35 years.
Yeah.
So
Alhamdulillah.
we went through this together. You
Mm.
know, she had patience with my growth, and at 22 years old, I came into the Nation of Islam officially, for myself, and my wife came with me, and she came in officially for herself as well. Um, and so, yeah, my first memory of a teaching from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was when I was 5 years old,
Mm.
and my father had was on my grandmother's roof repairing the roof, and he tied me to his waist,
Mm-hmm.
and he began to teach me about the history of Mr. Yaqub. That's how he worded it, Mr. Yaqub.
Mm-hmm.
And he would repeat this story throughout my life, of course, but that was my initial memory of the teachings. And he even went further into our own biology and my family heritage, and how he felt about being a person with other races in his bloodline, and he was very specific about those things as I was growing up. So I had already, post to actually officially joining the mosque, I had already had some history, from my own father teaching me these things as a young man.
Right.
And I'm grateful because my father had his trials too. He's had many trials. He just turned 80 in September, and he's still here by the grace of Allah. So, he'll Allah is his judge, not me, of
Right.
course. So I'm grateful to those lessons that he taught me as I grew up.
Got you. Got you. Would you say that mom, looking back at it now, mom was more of the where you get your spiritual temperament from, more metaphysics in a sense, and dad was more on the structural aspect of how you got to Islam and what you needed as a man in a sense? Is that fair
I
to
would
say?
say that 100%. That makes perfect sense. That
Okay.
makes perfect sense.
Okay. Okay.
Man, I've never been this candid on an interview, but Listen to this. When we were children, me, my sister, and my brother, before that, we have it's five of us, and two are younger. So the three of us that are like 2 years apart each. Uh, so when we were children, my mom would tell us stories about hanks. You know what a hank is?
No.
A hank in Virginia vernacular, northern North Carolina vernacular, uh, like Geechee culture, it means like a ghost,
Okay.
right? It's called a hank. And so she talked about hanks and how they would hang around and draw energy from people. And she talked about a light that appeared on this road that had the power, and my father attested to this as well, that this light appeared like a small orb of light, literally flipped cars over
Mm,
on this road. And when we were children, we would sit around. Sometimes the power would go out, and in the thunderstorms in that time of year in the Tidewater area, and my mom would light a candle and sit us down and tell us these stories, and it was very extremely fascinating, brother.
hmm.
Extremely fascinating, and to the point that I have not really talked about these things much until just right now.
Right, right, right. Yeah, somebody said now I think about it. Nikki said in the chat she heard that term in the movie Sinners that just came out, and now
Oh,
you're
okay,
right.
okay.
Yeah, they did use that
Yes.
term. That's the term they use.
Yeah.
What on the topic of just coming out of what going into the nation at 22, how
Mhm.
would you define Master Fard Muhammad in the teachings as you see them be or as they should be? Yeah.
I chuckle because I think I sent you that question telepathically
Mm,
because I contemplated on that question all night.
mm, mhm, mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
So as opposed to you're asking the question, how do I view Master Farad Muhammad today?
Yes. How you view him today and in the nation of Islam, not today, but how based off how you view Master Farad Muhammad, which should those teachings be and which should it look like based off what you know today?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Man, that's a strong question, brother. That's a strong question, but I'm going to give it my best from my perspective, okay? From my perspective, first of all, I believe in what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt in what he taught us. I believe in it 100%. Um, and I say that from this perspective because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in I believe it was the Irv Kupsanet interview, that every word that Master Farad spoke had to be dug out.
Mm,
Every word, he said he hardly ever said anything plain, right? That's that's very interesting right there. Then in 1954 Savior's Day, the messenger says that, and I'm paraphrasing, that Master Farad will be among us for 400 years.
mm,
That's in 1954 Savior's Day. If you want to go listen, it's online. You can go check it out for yourself. He made that statement that he would live for 400 years or be among us for 400 years. But the way my mind calculates,
mm-hmm.
when I hear these two statements together, it causes me to look deeper.
Of course.
When I hear that every word has to be dug out, then I have to dig out the 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So is it a physical life that he's living for 400 years, or has he reached a state of being that transcends what we consider physical?
Mm,
Now that beyond that point, it can't be proven. I can give you a theory, but I can't prove that he is physically alive because he has not been seen since 1934,
mm-hmm.
right? And I can't prove that he's not physically alive because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad made this statement. He says, when the Christian pastor begins to ask you about Jesus and do you believe Jesus is alive, he says, all you should say is, show him to me.
Mm,
Show him to me. That's all. And that's what I say with people today when we begin to report that persons that have been believed to be dead that are alive, then we have to say, show him to me.
Mm.
Show him. I want to see him.
Mm.
You see? So this is how my mind, and that's no dig on anyone. I
Mm-hmm.
think the teachings have evolved to the point where we should have intellectual conversation concerning them. If we look at major religious institutions such as uh, I'll just use Catholicism for an example. Not that I believe in Catholicism, but I'm looking at the structure of it and how it developed. So it came up as one church, and now there are many groups that are involved and live under that one banner. You know, you have different types
Mm.
of priests in that body, and all of them don't believe the same.
That's right.
You know, so to say that is that they don't deny being Catholics. They just don't agree 100% on how Catholicism is to be understood. And I think ultimately, uh, the nations of Islam with an S, the different fractions of the nation of Islam will come together under that type of banner. But I just believe it will be time. It takes time to get there. But I do see that coming from
Mm-hmm.
my perspective. I see that coming. And I think it'll be a great thing if we can all have, like Jesus said, in my Father's house, there are many mansions.
Mm-hmm.
If it were not so, I would not have said it.
Mm.
I think that's important that, and we know that's an astrological also meaning to that, but it has a very real meaning on this level of understanding as well. That there are different ideas. There was a scientist, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that became frustrated, because everyone did not speak the same dialect.
Right.
And so he said he drilled a shaft into the then called moon and filled it with high explosives and blew it apart. And now
Right.
we have a moon out there, right? 66
Correct.
trillion years old because of that action, according to the teachings of Master Farad Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at that from the perspective of our lives as individuals, sometimes we can become so vexed with having our way. We will bury a shaft between in relationships and fill it with the explosives of our anger, our passions, and that can, cause a rift and a separation that could last forever.
Correct. Correct.
So hopefully we can come to healing. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said one day the moon would come back to the earth.
That's interesting.
So again, it has to be dug out.
Right. Woohoo. 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 Definitely. Because science is saying the moon is going the opposite way, away from Earth. So
Right.
if that's an astronomical fact, then if that saying is, for lack of a better word, a metaphor, then what
Hmm.
does it mean? Right. So that's great. What is, and you triggered it because I had a question, but
I do not. I'm on a call. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
so what is, well, I'll do two of them at the same time. What and or who is the Mahdi and what is time?
Who is the Mahdi
Who or what is the Mahdi and what is time?
and what is time?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, brother. Mahdi is the self-guided one. Hmm? So Master Farad Muhammad is Mahdi. Hmm? So from my perspective, and I say it like that because I don't want it to get it confused with other people's exegesis on those teachings, right? So this is my exegesis and understanding from my study over the last 35 or so years. Mahdi is all of us
Mm,
who come to that understanding that you are self-guided.
mm,
See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad again, he is the supreme metaphysical teacher. He is the supreme scientist. So when we remove all the religiosity and we get excited over the white man part, we can get to the essence of what he really gave us on a deep spiritual level. if he said that we are all Allah's, then that would stand true for me, that there is a pace in our development that we are all become self-guided. In fact, in another interview in 1972, he said that in the future we would be, the Nation of Islam would be guided by principles, that we wouldn't have the structure that we currently have, minister, captain, secretary, such as that. Not putting down that structure, just stating what he said. And as I state that structure, we see when we see that type of mentality dissipating, then we see people that you'll see people at that time that can live the life that he taught us outside of the incubator.
Mm. 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 And give us time.
Time. You know, when I was a young man, I used to say time don't exist,
Mm.
you know, but time does exist. It's just a measurement of movement, as you know, from one point to the other. But we can defeat it as human beings. We can transcend time. And you stated in the beginning the things that I've experienced and I had the opportunity to share with you. Uh, Man, time is a very tricky fellow, my friend. Chronos is tricky, you know, and I've had experiences, and I don't want to sound crazy, you know what I mean? I want to share truthfully and honestly though. But I've had experiences in the last, I'll say the last 3 years, that transcend time and allowed me to see dimensionally 2 or 3 different dimensions of my own reality.
Mm.
Now it caused me, as I think I shared this with you, it caused me to have some supreme seizures
Mm-hmm.
because of I believe because of the methodology I was using to get to that state was a little bit, it could be a little bit extreme. But
Mm-hmm.
as that picture you saw, that was doing the Dika service. And
Mm-hmm.
so I used that Dika service instead in magnesium hot water,
Right.
right? And what resulted from that over a period of time was the ability to really not only get glimpses of things, but to begin to experience. Uh, Brother, do you know you could have a whole nother life going on over here?
Mm.
Hmm? You're here and you're conscious here because this is where most of your attention is in this material world. But if you can find a way through your study and through your meditations to escape this, the gateways will open to the next one, and you will begin to see your other expressions. Here's a good way to express it because it's kind of difficult. In the movie The Matrix, I'm not a big movie quoter, but in the movie The Matrix, when Neo goes to see the architect, I believe that's the second or third movie. I don't remember exactly. But when he goes to see the architect already knows he's coming. He already knows what he's going to say. He has all those screens there watching because the architect has already been through these realities with him on numerous times. Neo has forgotten who he is.
Mm.
So the way I see it, everything is happening simultaneously.
Mm.
This is how we begin to manifest things to ourselves, beloved. You know, well, maybe not you, but I could tell people things that would shock them
Mm-hmm.
because the power of manifestation is not what we thought. It's not staring at a vision board. That helps, but that's not the end of it. You can't, we mentioned Kemet in the thing. In ancient Kemet, I believe it took 42 years to become a priest.
Right.
You had to really spend time in the temple evolving and purging yourself. In the Naqshbandi Sufi order, they have a practice where you literally lay in a grave. You know, you literally lay in the grave. You literally go into seclusion, into a concealed place.
Mm-hmm.
with eating a date and a crust of bread being slid on the door.
Mm-hmm.
You have no human contact in order to reach these states, you know? So we have to, but to my left here is the Masonic temple,
Mm-hmm.
the Shriners temple, and to my rear is the Masonic temple.
Right.
You know, we're in an area that's heavily Masonic here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's these traces of this type of teaching is it's in the atmosphere. It's right here
Absolutely.
in the electromagnetic field. And when you let go, we holding on to too much, beloved.
Yeah.
You gotta let go. When we let go, you begin to connect to it. You gotta let go of the ego. The more I let go of the desire to teach other people, the more I'm able to evolve myself.
Mm,
And then people just learn by my existence, not by me drawing them to a particular place.
mm,
See, I didn't invite you out, beloved, because I saw you then.
right.
I saw that I didn't want you personally saying in a box because you were never designed to be in that box. But I was seeing beyond the present moment of what you needed.
Right.
So a power greater than me put you where you needed to be.
Right.
And yet you got that degree and was able to go on to your next degree.
Right.
I hope that doesn't sound fragmented.
No, no, I understand perfectly what you're saying. And in fact, I know what you're saying. And again, it was very, my life has been very, very intriguing. It's really interesting to me. There's certain people in places that I would visit as a kid or even as a young adult in your unawakened state that it was 100% relative to your woke state as a thing to a degree repeat, but may not repeat it in that form. So for example, a horrible example would be, well, yeah, when I was young I used to manage strip clubs, but as you get older in life and spiritual, you find something maybe called Taoist or Tantra, and it's a spiritual thing. And it's
Right.
like, oh, that's why you used to. Okay, you got your dad was into the raw porn and stuff, and even the business I called it back then was Scorpion Entertainment. I'm
Mm,
24 years old. I don't know nothing about zodiacal nothing, and I'm calling
mm,
it Scorpion Entertainment. But then when you get into the spiritual science, years later, you're gonna find out that Scorpio rules the reproductive organs.
mm, mm-hmm.
And so these things were necessary. And you are one of those people, and it's been, we talking since 2005. I've been many places. I've moved locations and across the country many times, and I still have this Quran that you gave me.
Oh wow, brother.
Somehow, some way,
All
look,
praises be
I
to
still
Allah.
got your little them. You put them on there. I didn't put that on there.
Yes, sir. I did put
Yeah,
them on
you
there.
put these on here. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of
Oh
those are
wow.
mine. And how I managed
Wow.
to go across the country, change residences, somehow, some way, this always stays.
That's the
Always
Rashad
stays.
Khalifa
You know what I mean?
translation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, who who is this person to you on the screen?
Oh, wow. Well, that's Mother Tanada Muhammad. That's who she is to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be very clear because, in my opinion, she transcended just being a member of the Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And mother here is not, in the traditional sense, most people say mother when someone's an elder in the community. And so she's mother, uh, Tanada Muhammad. But she mothered me into an esoteric understanding of the teachings,
Mm-hmm.
right? She was the incubator. I mean, of course, I heard, uh, I was blessed to hear the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a boy prior to 75 a few times. I was born in 67. you know. So I was able to hear his voice on the radio, and I remember the day he transitioned or died, whatever language we want to use, because he's no longer on this plane of existence, on the physical plane. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember that day because my mother said, Muhammad said he was Jesus. Let's see if he returns in 3 days.
Mm.
And I was laying on the floor watching the news when she said that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I didn't like that she said that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I did not what she said, but to me, the sentiment was not good, you know? And so I grew up with that. And I think that helped push me more into the teachings, actually, because in a sense, I think I wanted to prove her wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to mothering, Mother Tanetta Muhammad, or Sister Tanetta Dinar, some people called her, not to be offensive. That was her name prior to the departure of Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1975. She wrote in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper as Sister Tanetta Dinar. Uh, and prior, when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan began to teach again, uh, I believe it was he that first began to call her mother, and then it took on throughout uh, the Nation of Islam.
Right.
So, but who is she to me? I've had the pleasure of being in her presence on a few occasions. I've had the pleasure of being at the dinner table uh, with Minister Farrakhan, and being at the and Mother Tanetta being there sitting on his right hand. I've been there and had an opportunity to watch them have conversation. Now, this was many years ago. It wasn't yesterday, as you know, but it was many years ago. But I had that opportunity on
Mm-hmm.
several occasions to see this interaction, and so it caused me to watch her. Even when there were lectures at that time, I would watch her eyes, and when I would watch videos, I would look at her eyes, and you could see her literally leave the body as the
Mm-hmm.
lecture was going on. You know, from that perspective, you could see her uh, not presence in the sense that we think presence is. Because many of us think presence is looking with your eyes and being locked into a being. But this woman was obviously, in this time, has taught me, she was obviously tuned into the frequency of what was given,
Yes.
you see? And so she was able, when you close your eyes, your hearing sharpens.
Mm-hmm.
If you're eating food and you close your eyes, your taste buds sharpen. Hmm? When you see that type of transistence, there's a state in hypnosis called somnambulism. And when you're in a state of somnambulism, you're neither awake or asleep, you're in between. My brother talked to me about that at a call about that this morning, in fact, and I couldn't think of the word and it just came back to me, somnambulism. So I say that to say she is an ascended master, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She is an ascended master, and according to according to uh, her, she said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad allowed her to travel all over the world. And some said that he made statement to how she likes to study calendars.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very interesting because
Mm-hmm.
calendars are very interesting, and not just the ones that is on your wall, checking off dates. As you know, we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the annals of history, the cycles
Mm-hmm.
of time,
Right.
the Asiatic calendar, how this Earth revolves around the sun, and how everything that comes into contact within the uh, we could go out to 4,600,000,000 miles is having an effect on us.
Mm-hmm.
All the planets are having an effect on us.
Mm-hmm.
So I digress, but she touched all these topics in her writing. She touched all these topics in the article in the Final Call newspaper called uh,
Unveiling.
"Unveiling the Number 19." In
Mm-hmm.
unveiling the number 19, she stated that she had deep discussion with Rashad Khalifa concerning this, which is the Quran you just held up,
Right. Mm-hmm.
because he is the brother who really discovered the code.
Right.
She made it famous for the nation, but in Tucson, Arizona, this brother was murdered in the mosque, in the
Right.
masjid,
Right.
at Fajr prayer because of delivering this type of talk that uh, that eliminated anything outside of Quran and Quran alone.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's really important. That's how I see her, brother.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't I don't believe that she's alive on the wheel. You know, people are saying that now, that there are certain members of the nation who have passed recently are alive on the mother plane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that in the teaching that they
Right.
would be. And so she had a funeral. There's a death certificate. So that tells us that she's no longer among us on the physical reality. That body is gone.
Right.
In 1972, I believe it was, when Mother Clara Muhammad died, the wife of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who bare him uh, his first set of children. He said I believe it was the following Sunday, he said these words: "I love the way you honored my dead wife's body." I'm
Mm.
gonna stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
No more needs to be said.
Right.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything negative about his wife, of course, but he went on to say that, uh, he had never seen anyone honored in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
But he killed the idea of any spookism by saying my dead wife's body.
Correct.
See,
Correct.
so as we study the Kemetic, in the Kemetic field, there was a term that I remember very vividly called sahu, and it allows the soul. It discusses how the soul can leave the body.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so I won't say that beings that uh, studied like Mother Tanetta Muhammad didn't have that ability. I wouldn't say that,
Right.
you know. But in reality, I can't prove that either. So I try to leave my thoughts to myself on those things that I cannot prove. But I share that with you in this conversation, that all things are possible.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all things are possible. I like the way you popped that over the screen on me like that, brother.
What's that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you mentioned earlier, you mentioned the Naqshbandi Sufi order, and that's actually a question of mine. What is Sufism to you, and
Mm,
do you believe in the importance of lineage, which almost could be counter to Mahdi, self-guided?
mm.
So, what is Sufism to you in comparison to as well with lineage?
Well, I'm a Sufi. You're a Sufi. What is a Sufi? The word soft means wool. They said it's the wearers of wool.
Mm-hmm.
But it is because the mystics used to wear wool. One of my great teachers, who taught me for many years by the pen,
Mm.
by the pen. That's a surah in the Quran.
Alak.
You
Yeah.
know, Allah says, by the pen, Allah taught man what man knew not. But this brother his name is Amir Fatir. I refer to him as Sheikh Amir Fatir, and
Mm-hmm.
he's in prison in Delaware uh, for many years. And he he taught me many things. And one of the things he taught me, and I have all the letters that he corresponded me with, all of them I have in a safe, secure location. He said, brother,
He going high science. He didn't. You didn't tap the way. He didn't disappear. I got. And you gotta keep this dude grounded because he would disappear. You saw pictures of him earlier, where, like that would happen with him. Let me see. Hold on, where? Nah, your camera off. Let's see. Let me see. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me send you my message. Because your name is on screen, but your mic and your cam. Hold on. You may have to come out and come back in. Can y'all hear me in the chat? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Yeah, everything, man, for real, man. Hey, don't judge me. I was in my 20s. I had to go get the raw education first, and then get the spiritual part later and put it together. Okay, y'all can hear me? Okay. All right. Let me see. All right. I see. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see. Boop. Try to add them. I hear you. Wait a minute. You there? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you, but it's like I hear you pushing buttons. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. He gonna log out. He gonna log out and log back in. All right. How y'all doing in the chat? Let me know, man. Y'all enjoying it so far? Sorry about the I want to say interruption. Everything is divine timing, man. But how y'all feeling? Click the like button if you haven't clicked the like button. Do that for me. Let me get some of the stuff off the back end from the studio just to clear up some space just in case. Okay. Boop. There we go, beloved.
There we go.
Yeah, and I told him how you do. You would disappear. Hey, keep you ground. Hey, we gotta we gotta have to put your feet in the ground. I know how you get.
You're right, brother. I will. That is something I've been struggling with for many years.
Yeah.
It is true. You know me very well, beloved. You know me very well.
Yeah.
That's why I feel comfortable talking to you like this. I'm glad I did this with you.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't know if I could have been as open with my thoughts with someone else.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate
but back to
that,
what I learned from Sheikh Amir was this. He talked about the wool mantle that you see the brothers in the desert wear over their face to keep the dust out their eyes. And he says even in scorching heat they wear this wool cloth over their bodies. And then he looked at the Himalayas, and you mentioned the Himalayas. In the mountains you see the brothers wearing a wool mantle. It's freezing cold, and all they have on is this little wool shawl on their bodies. Why? Because these people on both ends have learned how to control the temperatures in their own being. They can raise it or lower it. These things are very possible. They're
There's
not
YouTube
difficult at
videos
all.
on it. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I mean, my wife
Shaolin
could bear you
monks. Yeah,
witness.
they do it. Yep.
I can cause my hands to become hot to ease pain in her body through Reiki. But not only that, I mean, my hand becomes physically warm through. It's just a matter of how you control your thought and what you're willing to go through.
Right. Absolutely. So, where are you on Sufi and lineage? You know how the Sufi order is big on lineage. You can't be. You got to come from
That's
this.
true.
You know what I mean? So
Right. Especially Nashbandi. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean lineage. I don't understand the question. What do you mean how I feel about lineage?
Yeah. So you got lineage on one side that's saying, hey, it has to come from this, but then you got the self-guided side on the other side that say, well, hold on, the Mahdi is self-guided. Like, hold on, like let's just be honest here. You have people who come and Allah speaks directly to them or sends a messenger to them, and there is no chain of command. Or what I like to say is, Qadr, he had to come and teach Moses. And I'm like, wait a minute. So the prophets got teachers, and even when you look at Ibrahim, it's a verse in the Quran that says that and we taught the heavens to Abraham, so he may be amongst those who are certain.
That's right.
So he may be. So it's a whole group of people, which that word is mukina. There's a group of people who are certain
certain.
already and whatnot. So how
Good
do you
teaching, brother.
reconcile, or are they both right and wrong? You know, are they both right at the same time? Lineage or self-guided?
The Mahdi came to break the cycle of the 24 scientists, according to our teaching.
Mm,
He came to break the cycle. So how things were done in the past, according to the way I'm taught, ended when he broke that cycle. And so now lineage, uh, I would interpret lineage coming through his word, who he touched. Like when I go to the dojo, I'm a student of Aikido
mm-hmm,
and 52 blocks. But when I'm in the dojo doing Aikido, my sensei is in a lineage.
mm-hmm,
He's in the lineage of his teacher, but the teacher had many students. So
mm-hmm.
each student has a lineage, you know? So yeah, I would say we mentioned Mother Tanana Muhammad. She's in our lineage, beloved. Yours and mine. You're in my lineage.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And it is not the blood tie, as I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, it's in the heart tie and the mind tie.
Mm,
The
mm,
heart and the mind.
mm.
When those are connected, and you look, the heart has it sends more messages to the brain than the brain does to the heart.
True.
The heart literally thinks.
Yeah.
Every organ thinks, but the heart thinks the strongest.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
the Sufi, it was a symbol of Sufism is the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the qalb. In the qalb, there's a niche, and in the niche, this is where Allah lives.
Yeah.
You know, who. We say Qul huwa Allahu ahad.
So He, Allah is one. Yes.
He Allah is. Let's check this definition out, though, beloved. Say He Allah is unique.
Mm,
Ahad is unique. Wahid is one.
mm.
Hmm? Ahad is unique. Say He Allah is unique. That's that from that perspective. I got that definition from uh Sheikh Ahmed Halusi. Ahmed Halusi, who's a Sufi sheikh that I had the opportunity to meet in Virginia once, and I've since ordered many of his books. Very powerful, beloved. Very powerful brother. I had a good experience with him. I share that with you sometime too.
Mm-hmm.
But in Tasawwuf or Sufism, uh, is is the cleansing of the heart. Is the cleansing of the heart. The heart has to be cleansed. It has to be purified. You have to come to terms with who you are.
Mm.
I love it. I
Man.
just
Woo.
gave you the biggest key to spiritual
Man.
development.
Yeah, that's what I be trying to say. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to come to terms with
Yeah.
who you are. And that just takes time. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it takes 75 years to learn how to live.
Wow.
So now, at me at 50, uh, at 57, 58, I'm 58, yes. Sorry.
Yeah, I do
At
the same
58
thing.
years old, man, I can run, jump, flip. I can still do everything I always
Right.
did almost. So just my eyes are getting weaker from reading so much. But
Right.
the at 58 years old, I'm understanding that it takes 75 years for you to become a master of your own being. If
Yeah.
even if you're consistent in the study of it,
Yeah.
study your own digestive system.
Mm.
How does
Mm.
that digest? And even in the reverse, how do you accept knowledge? Do you when you eat it, do you masticate it? See? You
Mm.
do. I'm not saying you, beloved. I
Right. Right.
know
Right.
you.
Right. Right.
But I mean people, I'm speaking to those who may be listening. Do we masticate on the truth? Do we chew it up well before we swallow it into our bodies? Because when it goes into the body, that's the second level of digestion,
Mm.
where it actually becomes a part of you. But
Right.
the chewing process allows it to break down so you can digest it.
Yes.
And we're not spending time in that process. and it allows us not to digest it whole. And so we end up eliminating things that we could have digested, but we were rushing through it, and we
Yes.
didn't take our time to eat the meal. That's how to eat to live. Point two oh, two point
Yeah.
from a 2.0 understanding, I would say.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. What
Yes,
is
let's eat to
your
live.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, man. That was a jewel, brother. That was a jewel. What is your favorite Islamic era and world history era in time? Give me those two: your famous Islamic era and your world history era, and just all of what we would call history.
Man, I mean, I have to be 1000% honest. Uh, my favorite Islamic history began in 1930,
Mm-hmm.
and that history of the Mahdi coming and his journey to get here. Even I've been recently studying very heavily on how he got here, on those past. Many different writers are writing many different things, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting because he's moved across time like the Men in Black,
Mm-hmm.
the real ones, not the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the real ones. And those who don't know what that is, you need to go do some research to find out what that is and who they are. But he moved like that,
Mm-hmm.
and throughout history and throughout using names and dates and just metamorphosing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the great, because when we look back in the old world, it's an honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I will continue to quote him. He said that he bringing a new Islam.
Right.
Now, in historically speaking, when I look in the old world, what he would refer to as the old world Islam,
Mm-hmm.
in that time frame, um, you know, I would say I would have to go back to ancient times, beloved. We can go back 1400 years to the time of Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but then we can go back even beyond him to Musa alayhi salam, and
Mm-hmm.
we can continue going back and back and back and back. So I can't even pinpoint a time in that history really, because it's infinite. I know many people in today's ideology would say that Islam began with Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you know, but we know for sure and for facts that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I was sharing with a brother the other day, the word corn is in the Bible.
Mm.
Corn is from the United States.
Mm.
Corn
Mm.
is from maize that was developed in South in Central America. Where
Mm-hmm.
How did it get in the Bible?
Mm.
How did that word appear there? So this planet, the this planet is hiding so many secrets. I went out to Arizona. You know I went out to Arizona. You
Yeah,
sent
that's
me there, beloved.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was gonna ask you about that too. While you on that, go ahead, talk about the corn because I saw it there too. When
Yeah.
I held a trip one year and I took people to the Mesa Verde, which are the cliff dwellings that are identical to the Dogon cliff dwellings. And
Mm.
inside the cliff dwellings, I kid you not, is a sketch of the three pyramids with an Aquarius glyph over it
Mm.
inside of Mesa Verde and whatnot. But yeah, tell us about, go ahead, continue the story on corn and then tell us what Sedona was or is for you.
So, well, man, I know what Sedona is, and you can feel it by walking on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, but the corn. I mean, I just say it corn because when it comes to mining, we're talking about ancient history. Many of us want to stop here, in Africa. We stop in Kemet,
Mm-hmm.
but when we really begin to dig, we have found pyramids on this hemisphere that are older than the ones in Kemet.
We.
We have found ruins
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are energy connections here on this side. I've Right here in this area in Halifax, a few miles up the road, I've hiked mountains here,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the trail, the zigzag paths up on the mountains. I've sit on top of the altar, on top of the capstone, on top of that mountain. Now they might move it now that I just said that, but I've meditated on that capstone myself
Mm-hmm.
many times. I've taken my children up there.
Right.
And then in the other parks, there was a time in this country they didn't allow the so-called American Negro to visit state parks because
Wow.
there are secrets in those state parks they don't want you and I to see. I was
Right.
down at Ricketts Glen and I saw at Ricketts Glen there are stones shaped like human heads.
Mm.
They're worn, but we're talking about time that's beyond 6,000 years.
Yeah.
They're unearthing things that are ancient on
Right.
this plane of existence,
Right.
ancient beyond what we saw in what we see in the Valley of the Kings and all of those things. Now, I'm not
Right.
putting those things down; those are very prominent things too. But I'm just saying we can't discount what's here.
Right.
So corn being in scripture tells me that something transpired on this side of the water.
Wow.
And when I look up the term, why is it there? They say, well, it means wheat or it means this. Then why didn't you write it as wheat?
Right. Exactly.
When we look at when we look at Virgo as a constellation, she has corn in one hand and wheat in the other. Then it
Right.
says she had wheat and wheat.
Right. Right. Right.
So these things are very important to take notice of. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert on them, but I like to put the question out there. I
Yeah.
like to put the question out there about the hawk that's seen in the Kemetic things, which is a creature that's indigenous to this side of the world.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
Now,
Correct.
the other part of the question that I was itching to get to was Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
Sedona itself is an energy vortex.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing. Uh, we went also to the church there that's hewed out into the mountain. It sits on a vortex and going inside. Me and my wife went in it just to get the sense and feel of it, and it was just the whole building resonates.
Yeah.
It's like resonating at 432 hertz just by
Mm.
sitting in the place.
Mm.
You know, I
Wow.
have footage that I took on top of the mountain where I took the dowsing rods and held them, took my shoes off. It was hot that day too. It was over 100, and we
Good.
were up there walking on that dirt, and the dowsing rods turned towards me.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we filmed it, when we look at the video, you can see the spiraling motion or
Yeah.
interference in the footage.
Yeah.
So the 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 tour guide who drove it, the dude who drove us up to the top of it, he said that it was is water in the mountains. And his story was that this happened of a great earthquake and it pushed us up into because I found seashells there too. I picked
Mm.
it up off the ground. I have it at my home. A
Wow.
seashell that I found in Arizona desert.
Wow.
So there was seawater there at some point,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or it's not a shell, it's actually a stone with the imprint of a shell in it.
Mm-hmm.
So seawater that's come up. But then also I saw pyramids, brother.
Mm-hmm.
You see pyramids. I took a train ride. I
Yeah.
took the 310 to Yucca, and I
Mm-hmm.
rode all the way across the desert on the train, my wife and I, and we saw pyramids, you know? And there's no denying. There's no, in my study of remote viewing, one of the things they teach you is there's no such thing as a right angle in nature,
That's right. That's
right?
right. It
So
sure
if
isn't.
there's no such thing as a right angle in nature, beloved. And when you're looking at a hill of dirt and you see a right angle, you know a man did that.
That's correct. That's
So
correct.
I know you can't tell me that with some natural formation because it's not. It's just something that doesn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see the melted cities. You can see the Sphinx. I saw a Sphinx.
Mm-hmm.
I have footage of it. It's there. It's more worn than the one in Egypt because the one in Egypt is younger than this one.
Right.
And maybe this one was immersed underwater at some point. But I go back to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. We're dealing with a planet that's over 78 trillion years old.
Right.
And some people say, oh, these numbers are astronomical. Some people say he's calculating with Yuccas, this ancient calculation method found in India. Irregardless of all of those things, you cannot deny the fact that the more you dig, the more civilizations you found.
Right.
And he said, when we saw in our history that we write 25,000 years in advance, when we saw an enemy coming on our planet, we buried our cities in the sands and under the foliage of the jungles.
Mm.
I watch NASA very closely and what they're doing and what they're seeing on other planets and seeing where water was on Mars and possibly still water on Mars. And then I reflect on what he said about life on other planets. Where there's water,
Mm-hmm.
there's life.
Right.
Water is life.
Correct.
They'll try to spook us
Correct.
out, brother.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. What is how do you define love?
Oh, wow. Man, love, and this is from me, love is being selfless.
Mm.
It's being selfless. Um, is a state. I don't think you can be in love instantly, not not in this deepest state. You can love someone, but to that point where, you know, you can wrap your wings around them, you know, where you can feel that electromagnetic energy coming out of your spinal column. And when I say my wings, I'm not being spooky, not no chicken wings, brothers, that you get at the Chinese joint, right? I'm talking about that sacred energy called Kundalini.
Uh-huh.
The Quran calls it Salat, right? The Quran
Connection.
tells you
Yeah.
to raise up the Salat. The Salat this energy is located in the root of us, at the root chakra. And when we draw this energy up into our spinal column, right? And it goes up into the crown chakra, your wings, literally you feel a tingling in your back,
Mm-hmm.
like you have wings. Now imagine with me, if you would, being in such a controlled state that you could wrap those rings around your family members.
Mm.
Huh? You could
Mm-hmm.
you could think about your mother, you could think about your brother, your children, your grandchildren. You could just wrap your wings, put your electromagnetic field around them and protect them from influences or harmful influences. Can you imagine that with me? Or have you ever had that thought? I'm
Mm.
asking your audience. Because
Wow.
when you begin to have thoughts like that, then you begin to have abilities like that.
Mm-hmm.
You will never have the ability if you never think it.
Mm. Say that
Mm?
again, brother.
You will never have the ability if you never think it. A
Mm-hmm.
thought held in mind produces after the same kind. You have to have the thought first.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will manifest. It won't manifest by your conscious activity. It'll manifest by you becoming passionate about the thought.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is fire.
Mm-hmm.
That ignites it and causes it to go in the direction that you need it to go. And then you'll begin to attract things to you that you never knew were coming to you. You will have a thought and it appear before you. You could have a car on your mind, and then that day, boom, a car is presented to you. You could have, I don't know, brother. There's so many things and experiences I've had now. There's nothing I can't call to myself.
Mm-hmm.
If I want it, it's coming. Now, I'm not spooky about it. I'm not gonna, many of us are so materialistic. I want $1 billion. Well, the universe will not provide you. Allah will not provide you through the universe. I'll say it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you're not developed to handle, what would you do with $1 billion? Why would you need that anyway when you have all resources available to you?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Mm.
You don't need to own anything. I mean, not in the sense of some people saying we have everything. But I mean on the spiritual level, ownership is an idea. You have use of everything on this planet. It's the only illusion that you don't, which keeps you from operating.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to be
Indeed.
an operator. You talk about time, you have to be a time traveler. A brother asked me online, why you call yourself a time traveler? Because I am. And not in the sense where I'm, going to 2035 and coming back tomorrow. Not in
Right.
that context, or going
Mm-hmm.
back in time, which people say is impossible. But in the context of history, it's best to reward the researcher.
Right.
You can look into the history and you can extract from that. And
Mm-hmm.
when you extract from that, you have put a thought in your mind. That's another level of teaching that talks about mind atoms. And we discuss mind atoms. We discuss, let's say, a being that has transitioned. What do you think the electromagnetic frequency that he thought on is at right now? Do you think it left the planet? Energy is neither created nor destroyed. It simply changes form. So if we can tune in into that frequency, I can become whatever that being was. That's part of the reason we use different names to attract different power.
Yes, channels. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Those are
Yeah.
keys. You gonna go back to the movie? Remember the key maker? He had a key to every door. But he
Mm-hmm.
was insignificant, they thought. He was extremely significant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me a summary sentence on love. And then you said something like, yeah, give me a
Oh,
summary sentence on love.
man, a summary sentence on love. Man, the brother, God is love.
Mm,
And I don't mean that in a clicheist way. God is love. Are you God? Are you Mahdi?
mm,
Are you self-guided? See, when we come to the point where we become self-guided, meaning that you have eliminated the ego to the point where you can function, not that you just got rid of it, but it's to the side where you can listen to the voice.
yeah.
I'll tell you a secret. Maybe not you, but someone who's listening may need this. You may feel like uh, your intuition doesn't work, and I'll tell you why it's not working. It's because you procrastinate.
Mm,
You have 2 seconds.
mm,
You hear me? You got 2 seconds. Now, I don't know if anybody else would tell you this, but I'm going to tell you today. You have 2 seconds to act on a thought before it fleets into oblivion.
mm.
When it comes, act. Then don't wait. Move. Watch what happens. Watch what happens in your life when you start functioning on, when you have a special thought or an inspiration and it lasts for 2 seconds. The first 2 seconds, you could really, if you were sitting in a session in a quiet room and I could show you how to map it out where you could pinpoint anything on the planet in those 2 seconds in what is called an ideogram. But if you
Mm-hmm.
just begin to pay attention to the 2 seconds, you don't have to write anything down necessarily. You'll begin to have thoughts. You got to feed the brain, but you also have to listen to the brain when it's communicating with you. Sometimes the ego jumps in. It's like, no, don't listen to that. And the creative mind jumps in and begins to create. You know, it takes those 2 seconds and creates a whole scenario that's non-existent.
Mm,
That's why it takes time to, this is why I say to you, pay attention to your body. Pay attention. Oh, I'm gonna go in to your breath. Count your
yeah.
breaths. Pay
Yeah.
attention to what you eat, what you drink, what you stool, what you defecate, what you urinate. What does it smell like? What does your urine smell like? You know, people are spiritual, but they're spooky. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know what your urine smells like, what it looks like, what's your waist look like, what is your bowels doing today, and why did it respond like that today?
Mm-hmm.
See, and these are how great masters studied themselves. Look at the Dalai Lama, man. They used to sniff his poop every day just so they know what to feed him.
That's wild. All right. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
a poop sniffer.
Right.
But look at his spiritual insight. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
behaviors that they say that he did that are inappropriate, but when we look at his spiritual insight of what that is to be, it came from not just him, but from a group of people nurturing him. Is your
Right.
circle nurturing you? That's love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is your circle nurturing you? And are you nurturing the circle? Are you allowing the energy just to flow through you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, Allah is the light. We are but holes in the lampshade.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
day. All day. All day. So let me ask you this here. Okay. So, um, you know, there was no manual giving for a lot of us on the path. What would be your advice for the lovers who have a significant other who's not on the path that's giving them, even, hey, you gonna be like this. I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. And you just
Mm,
got this opposition where, it's just some opposition there when the lovers are not on the same path.
right.
What would be your advice, and you having the experience of 30 plus years of marriage? Was it
Yeah.
and were you two always on the path, or was it times where you took breaks from the path? Give us some
Yes.
insight on the path of the lover's
Yes.
path.
Yes. I'm gonna give you the insight into my marriage. That's the best I can give you, I think. When I first uh, officially wanted to join the mosque, my wife said, "I'm a Christian. I'll always be a Christian."
Right.
Right?
Hmm.
While we was slicing the bean pies, I remember.
Hmm. Hmm.
So she she eventually came out to the mosque, heard a lecture or two, or three, and really listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on VHS at home,
Hmm.
and on tapes we borrowed from her cousin, actually got her involved deeper into the teaching, and then actually accepting and studying the teachings, MGT teachings. But my wife is from the same region as me, so she grew up with a strong hoodoo influence around her too. And
Hmm.
so the years she spent active in the temple gave her a base to function from. And now, as a mature woman, she's a very balanced spiritual being. Very balanced. As opposed, like you said, I need an anchor. She's my anchor.
Hmm.
She's my anchor. She often jokes and says, "I need to be around so I can lay the planks down for you to walk on."
Hmm.
You know, because she knows that my mind, I'll be here. I'll go to Pluto. I'll be over in another universe somewhere, and she'll bring me back.
Hmm.
I had an experience that I went into a seizure, and I left my body, and I saw the body. I saw her holding my body, crying,
Hmm.
and I heard she and my son cry out. My son said, "Dad, not now, not now."
Hmm.
And I went to him outside of the body, and I tried to touch him and couldn't, and I re-entered and woke up. And when I woke up, my body was wet. They was putting water on me, trying to bring me to, and I was like, "Why? What am I doing on the floor? Why am I so wet?" My
Hmm.
glasses were broken,
Right.
right? Because I just fell flat on my face.
Yeah.
I left.
Hmm.
So she's seeing that, man, the fear in them. When I saw how much they loved me through the fear of thought that I was dying,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It got even deeper. That was spiritual.
Yeah.
When I'm sick and she puts together, a potion, I'll say, a concoction of different herbs and things, and she heals my body. That's love. See, some of us have the idea, and I'm getting there to the union part, beloved, but we can't have the idea that it's all going to be hugs and kisses and skipping through the park holding hands every day.
Hmm.
No, different. You have to learn the way your partner shows love. You
Mm.
see, that she may not show love like you want it to be shown, and you could perceive that as not being loved.
Mm.
See, but you are being loved. You just being loved from her perspective on how she knows how to give love.
Hmm.
And really, that's the purest form because this is not taught or trained. It's what she does instinctively.
Hmm.
You see? And so when I see that in my wife, sometimes I know when my ego's out of control, when I'm trying to persuade her to do something other than the way she was created to do it.
Mm.
See? And so it moves right into spirituality. As I went, if you know, brother, I went through many phases of my spiritual path. When I wanted to learn Buddhism, I started going to the Buddhist temple.
Hmm.
When I wanted to learn Freemasonry, I came to the Masonic temple.
Right.
I wanted to learn what the Shriners do. I went there. I didn't go read a book, just read a book. I went.
That's right.
You know, I went to see for myself, and then I learned for myself. That's why I don't wait for nobody to tell me about it, because I already went. I went here. I'm raised here. I'm a Shriner. I'm part of the consistory. Some people are hating on Freemasonry, saying it's this,
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other. Well, it's like anything else. It is what you make of it. But it is a vast amount of knowledge in there that can be utilized today. It's been stored here for a reason.
That's right.
It's been buried here and held by cherubims. Just because the cherubims don't look like what you want them to look like and not saying what you want them to say doesn't mean you don't have access to that knowledge if you would avail yourself to it. Because that's what I did, and I came from the same place you came from.
Mm.
So to say that now, with that being said, that's in any area. If I wanted to learn from a church, I would go to the church. If I want to learn, when I wanted to learn Sufism, I went to the Naqshbandi order to learn Sufism. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
just look at, read a couple of books on it. That's good. But until you know, until you touch it, feel it, taste it, smell it. What does a sheikh breath smell like on your face after he just ate hummus? Hmm?
Right.
Tell me what that's like, brother, because I can tell you.
Right. Right. Right.
I was in the masjid in Virginia, in the Sufi masjid. This was in the 90s, right? The brothers had MP3 players in their
Mm-hmm.
ears, right? And in the MP3 player, they were playing dickers, right? And
Mm-hmm.
in the masjid, the sheikh was on this, the minbar had like 7 steps, not 3. He was way up top, and the rhythm of the whoo, whoo,
Mm-hmm.
whoo was vibrating through the building, beloved. It was the
Mm-hmm.
most unified spiritual experience on that type of level I had to that point.
Right.
Right? Then afterwards, we ate a common meal together, and they brought out a tray. Check this out. I think I shared this with you before. They brought out a tray and put it in front of me and said, "This is from the sheikh's table. You may eat from it." Well, brother, I'm here for a while. I'm not gonna eat after
Right.
this man done touched over this food.
Right.
My
Right.
mind is thinking, no, sir, I'm not eating off that. But thank you anyway. So when I'm leaving, when the sheikh is leaving, we all the brothers lined up. They lined us all up, and I was the only one that was not a member there. I was visiting, and the sheikh came out. He walked directly to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
He took his index finger and he touched my heart,
Mm.
and then you know what Kriya Yoga is?
Well, what? Yeah, yeah. Harry Nanda and Yoga Nanda came to me in my dreams. I took an initiation in Kriya Yoga in 2015. It was
Come on,
15,
beloved. Come
16.
on, beloved.
And it was
Come
they
on,
was
beloved.
visiting me for. I got my journal somewhere. Visit me for a couple nights straight in my
Alhamdulillah,
dream.
brother.
And to be honest, I haven't had the quite experiences at other schools like Kriya Yoga. To be honest, for me,
Man,
but not, yeah,
he
yeah.
had he had a Kriya Yoga experience
Mm-hmm.
that vibrated through his body. He began to tremble and he touched my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheikh said to me, "I get it from Allah, I give it to you."
Mm.
And we escorted. He didn't do that with anybody else that day. And I have a couple of experiences like this with other teachers.
Right.
Do that to anybody else that day, and they took him to his car and he sped off.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
Very
Alhamdulillah.
powerful,
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
So my wife, back, I kind of diverted a little bit. My relationship in spirituality. I've been through many different phases. She did not uh, go through those phases with me always. She went to some of them when we built the Sanctuary Academy. She was there, and then and she'll tell you, I can become overbearing to some people.
Yeah.
She says to mortals. So I can
Right.
become a little bit overbearing, and it was a lot, brother. I put a lot on that woman. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
this publicly. I put a lot on her going through these phases, but now I'm here and I'm able to have this conversation on this level, and I'm really uh, I'm metering this conversation so we can so
Yeah.
everybody understands what we're discussing right here, right? So
Yeah.
people need to go and look up Kriya Yoga, not yoga, yoga.
Yeah.
You know, go
Yeah.
look up that word and see what that's about because it's going to take you. Go look up pranayama breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Pranayama breathing is mentioned in this problem book. It's not called pranayama breathing there, but it's there. Uh, there are many things that we see in the writings that Mr. Farad in 1930, 1934, they referred to him as Mr. Farad and what he bought.
Mm-hmm.
And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad later said that he was Master Farad Muhammad.
Mm.
You know, uh, but even the name Muhammad, they didn't know that he was Muhammad until after he left. He wrote a letter to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from Mexico, and in the letter he signed it Farad Muhammad.
Right.
So why am I saying this? Back to names. Names are important.
Yeah.
They do certain things to us. Their vibration, the the sounds. In Kemet they call them heka, hekau. The
Heck, yeah.
heka, it has an effect on us. It has effect on others.
Yeah.
There's another film I used to love to watch, beloved, called Ghost Dog. You ever seen that film?
No, I haven't.
Ghost Dog was what's the brother's name? Forrest Whitaker starred in
Okay.
this film,
Okay.
and he was an urban samurai, and he would walk past people, and you know how big the brother is. He would walk past people in the film, and they would never see him. You know, he was always there, but never witnessed. And sometimes spirituality is like that, brother. And I always reflect on being a ghost dog because I'm just an unassuming brother, but I've had some wonderful spiritual experiences,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm grateful to a brother like you that's willing to reach out and say, hey, brother, I want to talk to you and get some, you know, share some clarity on what you've been offering.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you, I'll say you, beloved, noble, Anpu, brother, my dear brother and student, Sheikh Anwar Muhammad,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, my dear beloved brother Lamont Muhammad, who's now in Nigeria, uh, and there's others, some sisters that I've taught on a personal level from what we're discussing, how you and I communicated, because everybody didn't get this from the podium. Of course, when I was teaching at the mosque, I wasn't
Correct.
saying these things from this perspective,
Right.
uh, and it had purpose that I was being guided to a certain way. I was being guided to a certain way. And I think, you know, as we get older, we talk about Mahdi, and I don't know how much time we got left, but I want to say this really quickly. The word Mahdi, as you know how it's structured, it has the word Ahad in the word Mahdi,
Correct. Right.
right? So
Yep.
let's go back to the definition I shared earlier. Unique.
Mm-hmm.
The Mahdi is unique. And I see Mahdi, uh, the quality of Mahdi being a unique quality of each of us when we reach our highest potential. That's who you are. That's you, Mahdi. That doesn't take away from the Mahdi or the great Mahdi. Because when we describe uh, Master Farad, we say the great Mahdi. So great emphasizes that he's above, possibly above other Mahdis.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a chain, a sazala.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chain for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a change for you. There's a brother who's writing, John Marrow, uh, who's wrote two books on Master Farad Muhammad that are on university level. I suggest one called Finding W.D. Farad and the
Mm-hmm.
other called I don't know the exact name of the second one. It just came out. However, we got to stop just reading material that is general to the public. If you really want to become a master and use these teachings, I say that these are brothers that were in the mosque, in the nation, and any one of the nation of Islams, or whoever your teacher was, you know, I came in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as the Quran teaches us that we shouldn't say to our parents, to our mother, and we should not ever uh be disrespectful to where we came from. So you'll never hear me say anything in contrary to him, because I love him and I respect him and I always will.
Right.
You know? So many people want to discount the man. No, man, the man pulled me out the mud.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled me out the mud because I would have forgotten who the messenger was if he wasn't out here reminding us. He's a divine reminder. That's true. Now, people want to look and critique everything. I'm not in that position. I don't have his assignment. I don't have his assignment. Those who follow Supreme Minister John Muhammad, which was the brother of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I love that material. I read it. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. They have an assignment.
That's right.
It's not my assignment. Even those who follow Wallace, they have an assignment.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why they're there. And hopefully someday, like the mother plane itself being built by different segments, we can eventually put this thing together and we can sail on,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But the base is there, and I don't want people to say, well, this brother, he's just basically still in the nation, but he's not in the nation. No, the nation is not what you think it is. It's not just one body of people. It is everyone.
Mm.
It is all of us who've been come in contact with this teaching. According to our teaching, Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam, and it stands true that it can be proven at no limit of time.
That's right.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's an equal sign. That's an equal sign, brother,
That's right.
between mathematics and Islam. And the equal sign. I read a book about. I read the autobiography of E is equal to MC squared.
Mm-hmm.
And in that autobiography, it gives the definition of the equal sign and why it came about. It's two parallel lines
Mm.
representing that what is on one side is the same as is on the other side.
Mm.
And so if you say Islam is mathematics, that is an equal sign.
Right.
They're the same.
Is this
They're
equal?
the same. Now, some people may not agree with that. They might have some religiosity they want to throw on me. And, go ahead and do what you need to do. My shield is up. I'm good.
Right. Right.
I don't be
Is
careful
an
with that.
equal hand. That's interesting. Is an equal sign. You speak of the other names, and I had this on here. I literally got this stuff on here. So the names, frequencies. For you, what is your favorite attribute of the 99 names? And it may change over time, I'm sure. But who you are today, right now, what's your favorite attribute? What name would that be?
Hawk,
Yeah, Sheikh
Hawk,
Abdul Haq. Yes.
Hawk. That's
Yeah.
that's the truth, brother.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah.
only I use that, I have that. That's one of my attributes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're
That's
right.
what you
Sheikh
stored
Abdul
in my
Haq Muhammad.
that's what's in my phone. Sheikh Abdul Haq is in my phone.
That's right,
Right.
Hawk. And
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
named my son. I named my son Ahmed Abdul Haq Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know what? We had a conversation this morning. I won't share everything that he talked about, but he did something that was so honest and truthful. I was touched by uh, the name having the effect on him.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, we got to be careful again, even how we name our children, because they're gonna walk through what you give them.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When Anpu came to me, then the experience of the dead daughter, the twin, and I was like, oh yeah,
Wow.
you thought you was gonna be Anpu, and you don't have to explain. Oh, no, okay, yeah, yeah, right.
Right,
It's
right,
like yeah,
right.
yeah, like yeah. I
Wow,
don't want it
brother.
no more,
Yes.
nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
So
look, that's deep,
yeah,
beloved.
yeah,
That's powerful.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah, for
powerful,
sure.
brother. You
Yeah,
look at the name
yeah.
Powhatan, right? Powhatan is the
Um,
derivative of the word Powhatan, you know?
right,
And
right.
and this name I came about when I was working closely with the Aboriginal Republic of North America and
Mm-hmm.
Chief Namataga Shi Ali, which I really enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed learning much about indigenous culture and the things that
Yeah.
we studied, and even cartomancy. I began to go heavily into cartomancy then.
Mm-hmm.
So every every school of thought that I don't want to leave him out, because his the Aboriginal University was very helpful in uh, waking me from one of my escapes, bringing me back to consciousness, if you would, when I had decided to go in total seclusion and not just be bothered with humans anymore, period.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
that had a big touch in my life, and I don't want to leave him out. He's
You
my brother,
can't. That's my
uh,
brother, man. That's
and
that's
will
that's
always
yeah,
be my brother.
yeah. That's my bro.
Yeah,
Salute to Ali. I'm gonna
keep that
get him
100.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get him on.
Yes, sir.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
yep,
Yes, sir.
yep,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't leave that
yeah,
brother out. He's
yeah,
doing a great work. He's doing a great work. Not everybody agrees or understands what he's doing, but he's doing a great work.
yeah.
But I'll even go, you take my dear brother and companion, Sheikh Anwar Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
and the work he's doing in his region and what he's teaching. He's teaching a class now called Islam 101 and
Mm.
building his temple. He calls it Allah Temple of Islam, there in his area, and everyone that I've touched, and look what you've done. You know,
Yeah.
everyone who's
Yeah.
I see doing something on a spiritual level, whether you know, it could be from indigenous culture to Islam to Sufism to, you know, I don't even know how to put a label on what you and I do, beloved.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For real.
you know, I would say that I am an occultist, and
Yeah.
in a very positive sense,
Yeah.
and it's a very beautiful thing. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a very
Absolutely.
beautiful thing.
A mystic, man. Missed that. I got a few more for you. I don't want to hold you all day
Okay.
here.
No, I'm good.
Define spirit, soul, and mind and heart. Give us those four definitions. What's the difference between the spirit and soul, if it is one, and what's the difference
Mm,
between the mind and the heart, if it is one?
wow, that's a good one. Spirit and soul. Spirit and soul. Well, I have to quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he said that he got his information from God in person. And
Mm,
he says that soul is not a little man inside of you. He says it is your breath. It is your breath. It is your breath. And that, you know, if if you drowned, you know, and your breath is cut off, and I'm paraphrasing, but you would stop being, it's not a little man inside of you, you stop being a little man yourself, he said, if your breath is cut off. So the very
mhm,
soul, the biggest soul you have, he said, is your breath. So for me, that says a lot because a breath, if you remember, I used to teach this a long time ago. When we take in a breath, we take in 10 to the power 22 atoms.
mm,
You breathe in through the nose, you stimulate in the Ida and Pingala nodus, right? You can even do alternate breathing, and you bring that in and you taking that
mhm,
down into the bottom of the lung, right? And then we're exhaling by pressing the diaphragm, and we're exhaling 10 to the power 22 atoms. These are atoms of lung, liver, everything that's in the body. You took in atoms of the atmosphere. This is a total union between you and everything that's around you.
right,
That is soul.
right.
That is life. What is breath? It is life. It is your breath. It is not the air, it is your breath. The body, the human being, transforms air into breath, and then it
Mm,
becomes something else.
mm,
Hmm?
mm,
The Quran says, Allah breathed into man, and man became a living soul,
right.
spirit. I think spirit is more in line with the electromagnetic field in the
Mm,
mind. I think those two things have, I think the spirit is really your personal electromagnetic field, what we call hela, and it surrounds your being. It
mm,
surrounds your being. And
mm,
mind and heart, I think heart is the material, but the mind is the electromagnetic field that emanates from the heart. So all these things, once you know what they are, they begin to work in conjunction with each other, and it makes you who you are or who I am. And that for me is Magi.
mm. Are we gonna get there? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Okay. 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 And that's interesting because the Shadaliya Sufi order have a saying that's very similar that deals with sort of like four energy fields of body in a sense. There's heart, there's spirit, there's soul, there's spirit, and obviously the physical self is first, but the further one out is spirit. But yeah, these energy fields that extend away. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, very interesting. Very interesting. Take us to Man, you said it. We might as well. Well, no, because I kind of want to hold that. I got two more before that. All right. So if there's la ilaha illallah, there's no reality but Allah. Yes, there's nothing in existence but Allah.
True,
Yes,
true.
who or what then is Shaitan?
Ooh. Ooh.
Because nothing exists but Allah. My favorite is Job in the Bible. It gave up so much game in the first chapter, so much game, and it was like, his wife is like, hey, you still got your spiritual integrity? You curse God and you gonna die. And he's like,
Right.
yo, you sound like you sound like a God foolish woman, and the good is from God and the bad is from God. So basically, I'm
Right.
not falling for this trick of duality in a sense, right? So if we really believe there's no existence but Allah in the sense of that,
Right.
then who or what is Shaitan?
Right. Right. I want to pronounce this right. One minute here. I have the answer, but I just want to make sure I say the word right.
No, you good. You good.
Here we go. Anthane. Anthane. Wahid. Wahid. Anthane. Right? Talata. Two.
Okay.
We see the word shay. Shay. Shay means mind. Shay means mind. Shaitan is two minds. Shaitan is schizophrenia. Is bipolar disorder. We see it in the community right now. When any being is possessed of two minds, then they call it today. When I was a younger man, they called it bipolar. They called it schizophrenia. Today they call it bipolar disorder, and they give you medication for that. But on a very physical level, Shaitan is a dual-mindedness. So we say Allah is one, is unique. So it can't be two. Especially if there's nothing else in existence, how could there be two? There is no such thing is that physical reality. It is beings that are inhabiting a dual-mindedness. They have a frequency that is off-tuned. So it's like they're getting two radio stations at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I see it. And I got that root. I wanna give a credit to that answer because I learned that from the Ansar law community in the late 80s. Imam Isa, who also taught that he was Mahdi.
That's right.
I'm not talking about Dr. York. It's the same person, but he wasn't Dr. York yet. He was Imam Isa. And these are the importance of names again.
That's right.
And it was called the Green Light Sufis. And at that point, he gave us the history of what these words meant on a mystical level, which we had never heard before. And that definition always stuck with me. So I'm sharing it with you today.
Wow.
I see it as a dual-mindedness. And you will see the messenger said the devil is the devil regardless of space and time. But in some places I hear teachers say that devil means one whose evil is confined to himself, but Shaitan is one who spreads evil. Yeah, there's only Allah. We say that statement is a negation of anything else in existence. La ilaha illallah. La is the first word, is no.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that Muhammadan Rasulullah, people say La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. So, but if you're gonna say that, those are two separate thoughts. Those don't exist in the same place. You don't see that in the Quran written that way.
Correct.
You will see them that he is Rasulullah, and there is no God but Allah. But they're not written together, and they put it together with and add a conjunction, a wa, in the middle to conjoin these two separate ideas. What is two separate ideas? I just told you it was shaitan. So those thoughts in my study, in my opinion, and I know people will disagree, and that's okay. We're humans. You can disagree with me, but you can't tell me that those aren't two separate ideas.
Correct. But I think the Bible clears it up in the most beautiful way. I, God, create good and I create evil. I, God, do all these things. So there is nobody else to blame. There's nothing in existence but the one. Again, Job said, no. The good is from God and the bad is from God. And and years ago when I read that story, it went over my head. I thought I had it. But when I looked at it recently, I thought the devil was tearing Job up. No. The negotiation deal, one, we got to be amazed that Allah is negotiating with Shaitan here. It's a beautiful story to understand. One, two, he's all knowing and all wise. Why is he asking you where you been? I thought you knew everything. But nevertheless, anyway, there's something there when the devil says, well, strike him, remove this away. You put a little hedge around him, remove that and strike away the things. And I said, oh, so it wasn't no Satan devil that was striking. Allah was actually doing the striking, but it's so easy for us to think it was the bad guy in the story. And you have to understand that Job gave it up. He wasn't falling what I call it the trick of duality. He always stood with the one. Always. And that's the beauty of that story for me.
Yes. And even in Job, what I love about Job is he mentions the planets and the constellations. He talks about the Pleiades. So he gives us a hint into the stars as well and how they impress us on this plane of existence. Or not even the stars, also the planets. We talk about the stars, but the planets as well in their movements. Calculating where we are, giving us time.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Which to a degree is our prison.
Yes, sir.
To a degree. Is absolutely.
We can escape prison, though.
Oh, absolutely. 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 And that's what that Kriya Yoga aspect was showing,
sir. And you can be aware of it.
Yeah.
You can be aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you familiar with Sheikh Hashim Kabani?
No, sir.
He's older now. He's not really lecturing anymore. His son is doing the talking. But Sheikh Hashim Kabani told us a story once about that he didn't call it Kriya Yoga, but be in a state of Fana fi Sheikh. Right? That's initial. But then you evolve from Fana fi Sheikh and you go into Fana fi Allah. Right? Yes. And he would talk about how you could go along the masjid there in Cyprus and you would see men along the barrier of the masjid, and they would look like they're gone. Their minds are gone, but they have chosen to not concern about the physical reality anymore. They've reached a stage of Fana fi Allah where they are with Allah as they live. But their state was almost like, you would see he's not walking, moving, breathing. That is an extreme. From my perspective, I think we can reach that state without losing ourselves totally and still function on this plane of existence.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The ancestors did. This is why Powhatan is important. God in. Who wrote writing and hieroglyphs. Some believe Powhatan is the same as its Egyptian counterpart.
Yeah. See that's so I'm laughing because you and I got this thing where we have conversation and it appears to be telepathic.
Yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Because here's the question: Islam, Egypt. You got one school of thought, especially to come from my brothers on the RBG side. That the hell with the Abrahamic religions, they all the devil. What's the connection with Islam and Egypt for you, because you know you're Muslim, then you go to the Kemetic
Right.
school. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what's the connection for you?
Johnny X Bird. Johnny X Bird. That was the connection. He wrote a letter. I don't know who he is. I've never seen a picture of him in my life, but he wrote a letter to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1963, I believe. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad responded to the brother. And in the letter, he said, there's no teaching equal to my teaching except that can be found in Egypt.
Ooh.
And this is why, you know, it really was being a student of his, of the
Yeah.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad that led me to,
Yeah.
he was a Mason. He said, I was a Mason until 1931,
Right.
you know, when he met Master Farad Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped and it wanted me to go there and search. So then now, when we talk about that letter, he talks about Egypt. It made me to go study Egypt.
Yeah.
He said the ancient Egyptian Arabic. Some people, the brothers used to say ancient Egyptian Arabic, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers used to say that. But when we look at Egyptian Arabic, it's quite different from other Arabic, from the other 30 some dialects. You know, it sounds are different. The sounds are different. It's more ancient. And the Baladi people still speak a different, different dialects. But if you can speak Egyptian dialect, all over Egypt, all over the Middle East, you're known because it's the most popular. So my point being, this led me down the gateway of I wanted to understand what Master Farad bought. So it led me further into the teachings of ancient Egypt. And I saw many similarities, but not in just the words or the actions. Is more or less the principles. The principal spiritual of how you evolve as a spiritual being that I saw in ancient Egypt. When I visited that, it brought me deeper and deeper into what the Savior brought.
Wow.
But you got to go there. And I ain't talking about getting on no plane.
Mm.
You got to go there.
Mm.
You talk about the experience that you had in Kriya Yoga. I had the same experience as Sheikh Baba Mahayyadeen.
Mm-hmm.
At the Mazar, here in Chester, PA.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You know a lot about Sheikh Baba.
Hey, here goes bookmark that I got from the fellowship right here. This is a bookmark from the fellowship right now, buddy. Yeah, and hey, and I was always a little happy. Like, it could be ego, you know, but your famous picture. Let's bring that to the screen real quick. Your famous picture.
wow.
Let me take this one. Where's it at here? The one on the left are the Zikr beads that I gifted you from the Bawa Mahayyadeen Fellowship. Remember that? Remember I gave you those Zikr beads?
I do. I do. Yes, I do.
Yep. So,
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And you know that picture?
Yeah.
Both of those pictures was taken by two different cameras. There wasn't the same photographer.
Right.
The picture where I'm standing up on the riverfront, Brother Lamont Muhammad took that picture.
Wow.
The second picture was taken at a spiritual event with many different faith traditions coming together, and I was asked to speak and do a dhikr. And as I was doing the dhikr, this, I don't know who took this picture, but it kept coming up in all the frames that I just, this is one you can see me. I have another that I can't be seen. It's
right.
I disappeared.
An-Nur.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that state, brother, I'll say this, it makes you very irritable with dealing with people once you start meditating in that level. You can't get up and go to work the next day and say, good morning, boss.
Right.
You got that's the journey, man. To exist in this world and the spiritual world is a struggle. It really is a struggle. And it's not easy. But once you get to a certain level, like I said earlier, once you know yourself, it becomes easy because it becomes natural then.
Right.
It becomes natural.
Right.
I got a few more minutes, beloved.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You know, let me check my list here real quick. You know,
we can always do a part two, brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll go to well, tell us about the temple of the Asiatic Magi, where you at right now? And then I'm gonna ask you some quick. It's a quick session. So one big more question. What's the temple of that? Yeah, what's the temple of the Asiatic Magi?
It is me. It is you. A temple. I use the word temple because prior to 1934, we had Allah Temple of Islam,
Yes.
right? And we had Muslim Temple of Islam, Muslim Temple of Islam, rather. And then later on, all through this 50s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and even into the late 60s, we were known as Temple under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then at some point in the mid 60s, I believe, we began using the term mosque. I could be corrected on that by some, but yeah, it was around that time. He did use mosque in some instances before his departure or his death in 1975. So temple, he said, is not the same as a mosque. A temple is where you go to learn. A mosque is where you go to pray.
Wow.
See, so when we say temple, I'm speaking of a college, a university. I'm speaking of a place where you come to learn, not a place where you come to pray. I mean, we will pray, but we'll teach the science of prayer. You'll learn how to pray where it is effective. And here recently, I've taken on independent students and not in more of a congregation style. I plan to do some public talks and retreats here coming in 26. We are planning another retreat, but I like teaching individuals.
Yeah.
Because it allows me to really go in and really help a person evolve to the next level of where they want to go from a spiritual perspective. So temple is you. I'm a temple. This is my temple. That's your temple.
Correct.
So I use that terminology, temple of the Asia. Again, back to my root. I stick with my roots from that perspective, although I have a unique understanding.
Yeah.
But Asia just means one. It means who we are when the planet was one, according to our teaching. And so when I say Asiatic Magi, I'm not, and I differentiate from a Chaldean Magi. See, so we say people who study the Chaldeans, they know that the Magi were there. We know that in the Bible, the three wise men are Magi who came to see the star, to follow the star, which was a conjunction, who followed that conjunction to come and see where the master was being born. See? All right. We know what time. We know that took place in Virgo. We know that the sun was in Virgo because it said a virgin shall conceive.
Yeah.
So we know that took place there. Magi know that information, but Asiatic Magi implies that it is more ancient than the Chaldean.
Yeah.
I use the term Magi because Magi is really the root to the word magic.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
In the Greek, it means Oriental astrologer.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's up. Hey, we appreciate you, Mark. Mark said one of my favorite episode events, extremely powerful thus
This
far.
was beautiful, brother.
That's what's up. So I got a portion here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is 100% from well, hold on. One more. Well, I promise. One more question, then I'm gonna rapid fire it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So the mothership is here. The wheel is here. The whole world can see. The world stops what it's doing. They think the world is under alien invasion. And the leaders on the mothership have projected a screen for the entire world to see, and they put the screen on you, and they want you to give a directive to the entire population on the earth. What is that directive?
Go out to the street and go to your corner. There'll be a brother on each corner. One with a leaflet written in Arabic and one with a leaflet written in English, and they will direct you on which way to go. That's my announcement because that's what we were instructed to do. So I say that because many people, they don't even believe that this will take place. I know it will take place. It will take place, and you will be instructed to do that. Uh, that's all I can say,
Okay.
because I have nothing of myself to share. Uh, if you want to save your life, you'll listen. If it's in you to save your life, you'll listen. And we're approaching something now. But remember, I'll go back a little further because I want to reiterate this. Everything that the Savior said, and when I say Savior, I'm talking about Master Farad, has to be dug out. Every word. He said he hardly ever said anything plain.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so the mother plane is, yes, a physical reality. It's a human built planet. But there's also a plane of existence called Asia,
Right. Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another piece there too.
Absolutely.
And many pieces to it. I think that my studies show me that the mother plane is a physical reality, but it has an allegorical aspect to it as well that has also uh, a link to the 40 years that the messenger was here teaching us. He taught in the public, and in teaching us, he taught two things at one time.
Mm-hmm.
He said Master Farad Muhammad spoke 16 languages. He could write 10 of them, and he even spoke the language of the birds.
You know what? You dare say that teaching. Yo, say that teaching again.
He said Master Farad Muhammad spoke 16 languages
Did. Yeah.
and could write 10 of them, and that he even spoke the language of the birds.
That's right. Sure did. Sure did.
So, what is the language of the birds?
Sure did.
The language of the birds, from one esoteric perspective, means that we are allowed to speak from one school of thought across other schools of thought, and we all communicate
Yeah. Through the
and
magnetic field.
understand each other, although our schools are different.
Yeah. We
That's
communicate.
one perspective. But he
Yeah.
also said that he spent years in the jungles of Africa learning the language of the birds. So there's an implication that he actually communicated with actual birds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? But Thoth, he had an interesting connection to birds.
Yeah. Whole bird head.
Uh,
And it's supposed to be the god of wisdom, walking around with a bird head.
See that?
You know?
See that?
Yeah.
So think about this. Think about the feather in my eye. Think about the whole spiritual system. They're
Mhm.
birds.
Yeah.
Have you communicated with birds?
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
I have time to tell you a little story.
Definitely. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm on your time. I'm good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
10 minutes
Yeah.
left, beloved.
Okay. Just let me get this the last, maybe it's gonna be a quick rapid draw, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So listen, I went to visit a brother who raises pigeons
Mm-hmm.
from state to state, right? So he has these prize pigeons. He has a huge barn, and he has, I mean, the brother has hundreds of birds. So it's not just one or two. He has at least, I'll tell you how many birds he has in this particular barn. He had 52 birds,
Right.
right? And each bird, wait a minute, no. He had 104 birds.
Okay.
Man, that's brother, that's strong right there. He had 104 birds,
Mm-hmm.
right? And he had them in a coop, in a pigeon coop. Each bird had a card in his cage, a playing card,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's say there's a male bird who has a 7 of clubs
Mm-hmm.
in his cage, a cock. And then there's a female hen who has a 7 of club in her cage,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he allowed the pigeon, and the pigeon flies based on the Earth's electromagnetic field,
Right.
right? It has a compass in its head, if you would, to make it to
Yeah.
simplify it, right? So the day before the race, he allows the male pigeons to go into the female coop, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he puts them in there, he puts them right in the 7 of clubs with the 7 of clubs, the 8 of clubs with the 8 of clubs, and so forth, so on. Then he takes them out and let them stay a day. He take them out and he loads them up and he drives them, let's say, to Virginia from here in Pennsylvania. right? And then he releases his birds. He drives on back home. Now, they fly across 2 states, these pigeons. And they go back into the coop. The way it enters, there's a gate where it opens, but it don't let him back out. He flies into the coop, and that 7 of clubs male cock pigeon will fly from Virginia to Pennsylvania and land right on the 7 of clubs coop where his female is.
Man, stop it.
I have it on video.
Right.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Now, these are people who are studying bird behavior.
Yeah.
While we're complaining about things that are right before our eyes, but there are other levels to learning than just reading it in the book. You can read the book, okay, that's great, but now you got to go touch it.
Yeah, you want to talk about a Wi-Fi signal? Jeez.
Yes.
And you know the word, man. That's what they're using. They got their own Wi-Fi, which is when I start dealing with the exegesis of la ilaha illallah. La means radio.
Ooh.
Literally means radio. And when you reverse it, al, like Elohim, Aleph Lam in Hebrew, that is the first 2 letters for the word radio, which we know El by itself is God in Hebrew. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Which in the beginning, which I say in the beginning was the word, is talking about the wave that comes off as a sound wave first before it picks up into visible spectrum and then goes out into ultraviolet and things of that nature. So they're on the wave, man. They're on the wave.
Wow. Yes. Yes, brother. Yes.
They're on the way. They're on the way.
Yes.
All right. So I know you got to go. So here it is right here. All right. So 100% you can say jocking. That's fine. I'm with it. So my brothers in the hip hop community, I know you probably have no clue to this. So it's a hip hop show called Drink Champs. Okay.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So what they do is they'll say some names. You can only pick one. You can explain if you want to. You don't have to. It don't matter. It's up to you. If you don't answer because it may be politically correct not to answer or whatever the case may be, maybe just too tough for you. You gotta take a drink. And so whatever you got right there, take an ether shot. I call it. You gotta take an ether shot. Okay. All right.
Yes. Sir.
All right. So let's roll it up. You can only pick one.
Okay.
Ancient America or ancient Africa?
Ancient America.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's Nation of Islam or Minister Farrakhan's Nation of Islam?
The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Numbers or planets?
Planets.
Meditation, visualization.
Ooh. Visualization.
Master Fard Muhammad or Prophet Muhammad?
Master Farad Muhammad.
Sunni or Shia?
Shia.
All day. I gotta say that. I actually love Shia.
Yes.
Moorish Science Temple, because they dealt with nationality and nationhood. Nation of Islam, which gave us the greatness and obviously the big impact for Islam in the West. So Moorish Science Temple, Nation of Islam.
I have to say the Nation of Islam.
Monogamous single unions or any type of poly open unions that you feel may be the best one? Poly. So monogamy or poly?
That's a tough question. Monogamy.
Bawa Muhyiddin or Jalaluddin Rumi?
Oh, brother.
Bawa or Rumi?
I have to go with Rumi, beloved.
Okay. Spirit or soul? Got 3 more to go.
Now, based on the definitions that I gave you, I'm going to have to say soul first.
Okay. Daughters or sons?
I have both. So, man, I can't answer that question. I'll take a drink.
Take a shot. There we got him. Got him. Okay. Here's the next one.
Yes, sir.
Destiny or free will?
I'm gonna say free will.
Okay. And the last one is loyalty or respect.
Loyalty.
Mm, mm. Okay. All right,
Loyalty.
beloved. All right. Yeah, we definitely got to do a part 2. And they don't know, back in maybe 20, what was that? Maybe 12, maybe.
Mhm.
You, myself, and Minister Jew, I had created we created a radio
We
show. We had,
did.
on Blog Talk
We did.
Radio.
Not disappeared.
Yeah, we had a little series. Yeah, we had a little series going.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. How is Minister Jew?
Man, Minister Jew is on and popping, teaching the Bible like nobody has ever taught the Bible
Man,
before.
man,
Strictly from a conscious point of view. These are not historical
beautiful.
people. These are states of consciousness that you move in.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
introduces quantum physics into the scenario of it. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wow.
So
Yes,
he's
yes.
doing amazingly well. Yeah.
Reminds me of the 12 principles of man.
Mm.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, beloved.
Yeah.
As brother, this was amazing. I never had this type of, I'm kind of nervous of this type of conversation because you've taken me deeper into who I am personally. Now I'm naked.
Yeah.
Because I'm down to my skivvies, brother. I'm down to my skivvies. But brother, beloved, this is exactly what I wanted to experience today because oftentimes, man, we've learned to present illusions and put up mirrors to keep people from seeing us.
Right.
And I'm a master of subterfuge. If I don't want to be seen, I'm not going to be seen.
That's right.
And I could be right here beside you.
Right.
And those things are important to me because those are part of my skills in esoteric learning. But now I want to help individuals who are inclined to this way and are willing to drop labels. Like, for example, I said a lot about the messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I said a lot about the Honorable, about Master Farad Muhammad today, right? However, I don't want people to be turned away and think that, I'm offering some religious ideology. These men didn't teach religion.
That's right.
They didn't teach religion. Islam is not a religion. Islam is mathematical theology.
That's right.
It is also how you live your life. I live my life in what I'm espousing to you. I'm not someone else. I'm not someone else when I leave you. I'm this guy. You know that, brother. I'm always this person. I'm not going to be someone else. I have flaws like others do. However, I work very diligently to eliminate those flaws. And when I see them and I catch them, I work to eliminate them. And I wish that we would all work hard on ourselves. And this puts us in a place where we can go back. I remember brother used to take people out to the mountains years ago. We need to gather back there because those energy vortexes like we experienced in Sedona are there. They are there, brother. There was a place on the land in Virginia that I would go to, and I could reach up into the air and literally feel electricity in the air. I know that space in my mind right now. I can feel the electricity, literally touch it in the air like a static energy.
Wow. Yeah.
There was a literal vortex in that space. It's still there.
Right.
But you can't sense these things, if you're not striving to reach there, if you're not paying attention to the little things. The little things first. Begin to look at yourself, study yourself, giving up the crazy stuff. Some people think it's diet, brother. I'm gonna be a vegan and I'm gonna have spiritual insight. That's not so.
Right. Right.
One of the greatest seers that ever lived was a pork eater.
Right.
That's not gonna stop you from seeing. Right. It's gonna shorten your life. But if you would come to clean your thoughts, everything else fall away from us.
Yes, I agree 1,000%, 1,000%. Where can the people reach you at? What you got going on? And give us some words of wisdom for. Let me take this off for the beautiful women, because I got a lecture coming up on the screen called "Black Mothers of Islam in Arabia."
Wow.
And inside of that, I'm about to bring it on this one, but inside of that, we're gonna get into this right here, which from the Shia side, from the 6th Imam all the way down to the mother of the Mahdi, Listen to me, y'all. These men
Mm-hmm.
all went and married a black woman from Africa, and their
Wow.
mothers are black. And there they are right there. I don't want to spill it, but that's this Friday.
Wow.
So
Wow.
what can you give us? What can we get a hold of you? Things you got going on, and give my beautiful women some advice, man, of Islam
Well,
on how you see it.
if you want to reach out to me, we have a website. I have a website, powhatanshiamaru.org. powhatanshiamaru.org. Also, you can reach me online on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And I right now I've been like sharing some information on the social media platforms, but I've been really pulling back because all I see on there is arguing, people arguing and
Yeah,
bickering, and
yeah,
it's even in the so-called pursuit of knowledge. My knowledge is greater than yours, and this, that, and the other. And my teacher taught me this, and I mean, I've seen this for 40 years now, beloved, and I'm like, even before there was a social media, and I was in this study, we used to stand on the street corner and have these same arguments.
yeah,
And now people, when you see a person that continue to do the same thing, expecting a different result, we know that Einstein said that that's insanity.
correct.
So if you want to learn, reach out to me. I will give you my number here is 223-322-9982. That is my business line, my cell phone. You can text me. Please don't call because I'm not going to answer. Text me and I will call you back.
Correct.
223-322-9982. And then you can schedule an appointment with me. Generally, before I take on a client, we do an extensive reading. I check out your chart based on the Asiatic calendar and what we call indigenous card system. And so I look at you and I study you and I look at your personality and I see all the potentials, positive and negative, and I see if we're a good fit to work together.
Yeah,
Because it's not about a mass movement no more. That's over with, beloved.
yeah,
Anybody think they're gonna get a mass movement today is only gonna come through violence and bloodshed if you go that route, and it's gonna be based on fear. If you're trying to be at peace with it, there are no more Jedi, beloved. The Jedi order was disbanded. Now you're independent out here learning. If you get the reference, Luke was
that's
learning
right.
on a little swamp, and when Yoda found him, when he found Yoda, it was on a swamp, and that was after the order had been disbanded. The way that things were in the 80s and the 70s, this is not the same today.
Yeah,
And you speaking to a person who was here in the 80s and watched spirituality, was involved in deep spiritual teaching. And I leave you with this point. I can remember in 1988 going to an herbalist in Atlantic City on Pennsylvania Avenue and talking to this herbalist about different things to heal the body. And she had to when I asked her for certain things, she had to build it, she had to make it and put it together. And she told me that day, she says they're putting a CVS across the street. And one day this will be obsolete. No one will ever come in here again to get medicines like at a true apothecary anymore. And she was I didn't believe it. She was absolutely right.
right.
And now look at today, you see that it transitioned in with holistic medicines and healing. Now it's happened with spirituality. It's happened with all these groups. We can talk about the Nation of Islam, any of the various leaders of their own particular groups. But until we find unity, I applaud the minister on this meeting last Monday and bringing unity together and speaking of unity. And I pray that we all will put aside our differences and come together, because the greatest desire for all of us is to see our people free,
Absolutely.
and to see us in unity with each other, in love with each other, like you and I, brother, known each other now for about 20 years, and we still love each other. We still greet. We don't see each other every day at all.
Not at
But
all.
it's like I never stop seeing you when I do see you.
That's right.
And so that's love.
That's right.
That's love, man.
That's right.
I can't deny that.
It's actually physically been over 20 years. My son was turned 20. You know what I mean? So yeah. But there's a connection that supersedes that. We like the pigeons,
That's right, brother. That's absolutely right. We can fly home at any time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. It's absolutely a pleasure, man. People in the chat saying we absolutely got to do part 2. And man, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you, man. I absolutely love you.
I love you too, brother.
And it's your work has always been, it's all as it should be. It's always a step ahead of me. That's for me, and what I see is also, again, for you, it's not about, because I'm not on Facebook like that. I either only went on there to post this. I'm not on Instagram. You know, it to me, it's like, you'll find me if you meant to find me. You'll find me.
That's
You know what I
That's
mean?
how I feel,
That's how I am. It's not about, clearly, it's not about
because
the money.
it's not about.
Yeah.
For me, you know, I do readings and people pay me for those readings. However, it's not about the money anymore.
Right.
You know, I make money through other means now. So when you come to me to learn something spiritual, I'm going to give you the essence of who I've become over 40 years of study.
That's right.
You know, I'm not walking around here talking about I'm a master and I started reading 2 weeks ago. You know, I just started doing this a half an hour on weekends. No, brother. I've been through many initiations to reach this level of understanding. Many initiations. Some great, some not so great. I've gained, I've lost. And that's what the journey is about. It's not an easy walk. You know this, beloved. I'm saying this, anybody living and who are listening, don't think it's going to be easy. People come to the wellness center and say, Milana, show me how to open my third eye. And my favorite line is, you know, what if you see a big green monster?
Right.
You know, you have not prepared yourself at the root, but you want to open the crown.
Right.
Until I show anyone how to literally move energy in that direction, I have to share with them how to root themselves, how to ground themselves.
Yeah.
That's extremely important.
Absolutely. And
give me your mothers, to the black mothers of Islam in Arabia. Wow. Brother, I say to this, that these sisters, the black women in Arabia who study Islam, they have a duty by what they bear through their wombs, and how they train their minds is what will present themselves through the womb.
Yes.
You know, is extremely important. It goes back to Hagar. When we look at Hagar coming through the Safa and Marwa,
that's
right? We see her come through, and she gives up in exhaustion, and then she gives birth to Ishmael, right? But it took her trying. If you look at the story, she was running to and fro, and now we have Zemzem, right? We have Zemzem water. So look at that. Look at these sisters. You have a responsibility, and what you birth could be the future of this planet. You know, if we can get back to the real Islam. I think some of us, not to be political, but we got to let go of some of these concepts that are contrary to the original teachings that were given to you. You all had a book. You had a prophet that come to you. You had a man that came and taught you, and you are duty bound to follow that man, just like I'm duty bound to follow the man that came to me.
Right. Wow.
Prophet Muhammad didn't come to North America.
That's right. Did not. No, nor, as the Quran says, every nation will have a messenger speaking their own language.
Speaking their own language.
So he did not come to North America, nor did he speak English.
No, he did not. Not at all. In fact, as far as I know, there was no English at that time.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I want people to understand the Quran is a futuristic thing. It is like the Quran is light year. Man, listen, when I try to tell you, I'm serious about the Quran is literally light years away and is dealing with the next formation of you mentioned Safa and Mara. And Mara means Andromeda and Safa means alignment. And what's going to happen is our Milky Way galaxy about 4 to 5 billion years ago is going to merge with Andromeda. It's going to be an event known as Milkomedia and whatnot. The Quran is there already talking about that. But anyway, the womb, sisters, he's telling about the power of y'all womb. Bismillah, Rahman, as I showed in the last episode, last Friday's Khutbah, Rahman literally means womb in uterus.
Yes, it does. It comes from the root Rahmat. Yes, absolutely. It means womb. It means uterus. Is who you are and what you do. You are literally the mothers of civilization. Yeah. Quite literally.
Yes. And Islam knows it and protects you in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man, alhamdulillah, brother. Thank you, man.
Alhamdulillah, brother. Thank you so much. May Allah continue to guide you.
You as
And
well.
thank you for
You as
this
well.
opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, yes,
Assalamu
indeed.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi
Yes,
wa
indeed.
barakatuh.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. All right, brother. I get with you.
All right, brother.
All right, peace, everybody.